the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
So I should stop talking about an elephant penis.
Yes, get it out of your system.
Okay. I'm
Get
just
it
looking
out
for
of your
definitions.
system. Let me tell you.
I'm just looking for definitions. I'm not trying to get into trouble. I'm not trying to say things.
I know,
if somebody
I
in the audience knows the technical like what the scientific term for it is,
Call now.
Because I found out that what I thought it was actually for whales.
It's for whales.
Not for elephants.
You've been calling me a whale this
whole time. And I was wrong.
You were wrong, and you'd like to correct it.
I'd like to correct this mistake so that the elephants and whales both aren't insulted because I'm pro giant mammal.
Yeah, we would like to apologize to our audience. We'd like to apologize to the world.
Yes.
We will fix this. We will fix this.
This is gonna get fixed.
This is gonna get fixed. You mean the whale and the elephant are gonna get fixed?
Yeah, poor guys.
Oh my
Well, they've
gosh.
just had too many children.
Too many kids.
And a lot of baby mamas.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a real Nick Cannon situation going on. So if we don't get them fixed, it's just never gonna. It's
never gonna end.
I mean,
Never gonna end.
I mean,
Not enough. They always say spay and neuter your pets.
Yeah,
but
they
they
do.
don't really emphasize the whale and the elephants.
that's true.
Spay and neuter because they're the population. Well, actually, I think that's the opposite. We need as many of those things as we can.
Some
Don't
elephants.
spay and neuter those.
Particularly
animals.
the gigantic ones in Africa with the huge tusks.
We
Those
need 'em.
ones, do not spay or neuter your
No,
African
do
elephant.
not
If you have
spay
one,
or neuter your African elephants, and you probably shouldn't own one either if you're not in Africa.
yeah, unless you're part of unless you're part of an organization that's actively helping them recover.
No, I was hinting at like the equivalent of a Tiger King, but it's Elephant King. Oh, somebody's calling right now with your with
thank
what
God.
What the elephant
Thank
name is.
God.
You
This
know
has
what?
been bugging me all morning.
We'll circle back with you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just leave a message.
Leave a message. Hi, this is a message for the Biofriendly Podcast. I'm an elephant expert. And
a dongspurt, if you will.
Dongspurt. They're called. Let's make up a name for it. Let's Dumbos.
Is that why they call that baby Dumbo with the big old ears?
Yep. Disney always sneaks those things in.
Yeah, sneaky
That was
Disney.
the scientific term right
Yeah.
there.
Check out that Dumbo.
Look at that Dumbo. He can fly with that.
Yeah. We were just telling people this weekend at the conference in D.C. we were in how we're a kid-friendly show.
We are. Should I remove all of that?
No, I think a couple of well-placed beeps and the
Okay,
kids will have no idea.
well-placed beeps.
I think.
Okay.
I think they'll have no idea what we're talking about.
All right. Well, we'll listen back to it and we'll just say, what do we all think?
We were
there?
pretty scientific. It
That
was
was very-
actually for scientific purposes.
This is an educational show.
Yeah, the goal was not to go, vulgar. That really wasn't what it was about.
No. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
We're back. We
back.
As you heard on the last episode with our golf part 1 and part 2. Can you hear yourself, by the way, Veronica? You just checked.
I don't know. Yes.
There
Yes.
you are. See, you can hear yourself. It's just quiet.
Just from one.
It's just the
You're
one ear.
very
I can hear
famous,
myself.
Veronica.
Yeah.
When we talk to people at the show, they say how much they
They love Veronica. Yeah. Chiming in. They do.
They do. Like this show would not be the same without Ronnie.
There were several people at the event who had heard the podcast who didn't know who we were, and they were like, "Oh, I've actually heard that show. Oh, I recognized your voices." And
Oh
that
my
was
God,
kind
it's
of
you.
Yeah. So we're kind of a big deal. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
We keep telling them, watch this show, watch it on TV, because
Then
we have.
you would recognize us.
Then you know who we were.
Yeah.
But people think that we have faces for radio.
Faces for
but
radio.
we don't. We have
don't.
faces for television.
We have face.
Television.
Yes, television.
Not streaming.
No.
Not home like those old box television from the old days. That's
You're
the
talking
thing.
like 4K modern flat screen TV. That's the faces we have.
Yeah, well,
Or no, you mean the old school.
No,
you
I
meant
was
to go
thinking
the
a
other way.
tube.
Okay, you were thinking like old CRT
I
boxy.
think we have faces for 1980s and earlier
Oh,
television.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
think
love
so.
it. That's in now, by the way. It's
Yeah.
in to make things look very dated and kind of old, like with the VHS lines. Like the kids love that.
Kids love this.
They love it. My
They're
son,
crazy about it.
My son likes these games that emulate like VHS, and he brought me in one time to give him he was making something that kind of looked like one, and he was like showing me the lines, and he was like, "Is this how it was?" And I loved that. I had to explain that usually a screen, like a blue screen, would be before the tape played. It would be blue, and then it would switch over.
Yeah.
And the wear lines would be rough in the beginning, but then they would kind of smooth out, and that's usually And so I was like the
because it stretches the first part of the tape as it's going every time, and the stuff in the middle doesn't get stretched out. So you don't have the same problem.
Exactly. And so I was explaining kind of the science, and it was so funny because here he is replicating something that was just a normal part of our everyday life, and I was like, wow, how
and an annoying one,
and something that we don't want back.
No,
and he was like,
it's better now.
It looks so cool, and I'm like,
it is so hilarious, isn't it? Well, it's like I remember asking my mom when I was really little. I was like 5. It's one of my earliest memories. I remember asking my mom, what was it like when things were black and white?
Yeah, like in the world.
Yeah. Like it wasn't a consideration that some of the shows that I was watching, Mr. Ed and Bewitched and these different shows that were in black and white.
Yeah.
That were from, I assumed to their time, that those were black and white. I didn't think that the cameras didn't have the technology.
Right.
I thought
it was like the world looked like that.
Used to look like that, and at some point, thankfully, they invented color, and we get to live in this wonderful, colorful world. And my mom just laughed and laughed.
It's an adorable thing to say, and I think a lot of us think it. I think I remember even my youngest having the same kind of like, that you show them something old, and they're kind of like, wow, the world used to look so different back then, Wow.
The color in the world was just so like sepia.
Sepia and muted.
Was it sepia?
Yeah.
Sepia.
I say sepia.
Sepia. I thought it was sepia, but I'm doubting myself.
Yeah. There's a pronunciation for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
There's a pronunciation.
There's a pronunciation. Well, hey, we better dive in because we're doing a little different tactic because this morning I was with the team.
Yeah.
And I said, and the table of writers over there. And
writer's room.
Writer's room over there. And I said, you guys, we got 2, poppin' stories. And they're kind of both tonally very different from each other. Which one should we do? And it was unanimous. Everybody said, all of them. Bring me everything.
Bring everything.
There was a lot of shouting.
Yeah, there was.
No. So we're going to do it. We're going to double whammy. We're not doing a 2-episode podcast. We're doing 2 subjects in one podcast.
Isn't that funny how that happens? Sometimes you have a topic like golf that takes you 2 episodes to do. And sometimes you have an episode like this one where you need 2 topics for one show. We're free here. We're easy.
We're free.
We let it rip.
This is how we flow on the show. We flow on the show. By the way, I'm going to say I do remember the latest tag that we've added. Do you remember it? It has to do with a year.
Oh, yes.
I got it. It's in my head. So I'm letting you know.
I'm the one who has to say it.
Okay. Well,
am I?
You're the one who has to say
it.
Unless you want to take the constant tag and then I do
I feel like if we change it up now, everyone's going to be mad at us.
Okay, so then I'm just going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
You can have time to think about it. It's about a certain year.
Okay.
That we've been podcasting since.
Okay.
It came back. There you go. Crew. Okay, so the first story I thought was quite a heartwarming tale.
Okay. I want a warm heart.
Yeah, warm heart. Yeah, if you have a cold heart, which it's cold here in LA, surprisingly, very cold.
Just if you have a cold heart, don't be a cold-hearted snake.
Don't look into his eyes.
That's right. Paula Abdul will be so upset with you.
He been telling lies. He's a lover boy you play. He don't play by rules, no.
Girl, don't play the fool now.
He was always a reptile.
That's right.
That's all. I don't know what the heck she was saying in that whole thing, but I know that song well. Okay, so there was a beach in Bournemouth, England.
Okay.
Bournemouth, like the Bourne Identity.
The Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, right?
It's a great series.
The Bournemouth. So it's about a mouth that forgets it's a mouth.
With the right trigger words.
With the right trigger
and
words.
And then it turns into just a murderous assassin.
It's just like, but like a murderous tongue assassin. So it like insults somebody and they die.
Yes, but it does have a heart of gold and it doesn't want to be a murderous assassin. So it's trying to escape from being an assassin.
The Bournemouth identity.
Bournemouth.
So anyway, the story is using AI and a healthy dose of creative thinking, the Neat Streets campaign has helped reduce litter up to 75% in Bournemouth, England.
75%?
Yeah. Are you wondering how they did this?
Yes.
Okay. So they set the stage here of like what they dealt with. It's summer of 2022. The hottest.
Did they have trash cans?
Yeah.
They did.
They did have trash cans. They had waste bins.
Because that would be a reason why there'd be a lot of litter. There's nowhere to throw.
There's nowhere to throw anything. Yeah, they had the traditional what it looks like, the barrels. I'm sure that you see in the movies that often like in like homeless cities, there's fires coming out of them. It's like those drums, those oil drums. It's probably the old barrels. That's what they had, right?
Well, okay, so no, because I've actually had that experience where I'm out at a beach or a public place or
and
something.
There's nowhere to throw
and
anything.
There's no trash cans.
Yeah.
And when there's no trash cans, I mean, I hold my garbage because I'm an environmentalist.
Yes, absolutely.
But I definitely I understand where people will be like, ugh, and they just toss it.
Right.
Be like, screw it.
Right.
If you're not going to give me garbage can, I'm just going to throw it on the ground.
Right. Forget it. I'm not even going to try anymore.
Yeah.
Right? That's the attitude.
But that's not what happened here. They had
no.
garbage cans, but still people were not using them enough.
Well, it's local people had complaints because this basically takes place between summer of 2021 and into 2022 where the solution came. So in Bournemouth in 2021, it said they saw a 476% rise in litter during one of the bank holiday weekends.
Wow. Sorry, when?
I just said in May of 2021.
21, okay.
21. So 2 years ago, they had this increase of 476% on one weekend. They're like, this is out of control.
Wow.
So to
I
combat
wonder if that was also, and it is crazy, but I wonder if that was also partly just because that was a holiday weekend after people kind of were coming out of the pandemic. So they were sort of back working again, kind of busy, and then maybe now we're finally taking a break.
Yeah.
So they just lost their minds.
And it was the first summer that people were on the beach again after it had all been clean.
Yeah.
So the percent rise would really be through the roof. But it's a good point. It's a good point. So it says the local newspaper, they were basically saying to combat the issue, the council unveiled a £3.5 million seasonal response plan where people were saying, we need to have more bins, more fines, more litter pickers. Don't clean it up for a month and see if people still want to come. Like these were all the things being said. Yeah. But it was down, and this is the line in the article that I thought was cute. It says, by the end of summer, litter was down by an average of 75%. All the area needed, it seemed, was a little bit of ABBA.
What?
A little bit of ABBA.
They brought ABBA out there to sing,
ABBA was,
please don't trash my beach.
Keep it clean.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding.
Bournemouth didn't become a super trooper in litter reduction overnight. That's a reference to an ABBA song, by the way. Super Trooper. Great song. First, the council brought in Hubbub, an environmental charity that had previously used behavioral change research to tackle littering.
Okay.
Hubbub then suggested environmental monitoring company Ellipsis Earth undertake a litter survey over a 6-month period. So they hired this group, Hubbub, like, we need to solve this problem. So Hubbub was like, all right, we're going to get these Ellipsis Earth people. And I thought this was so cool. Ellipsis Earth came in, a London-based company. They analyzed images, video, and drone footage to confirm what rubbish was being dropped. It says rubbish because this is a UK article.
Because this article is probably rubbish.com.
It's rubbish.com. Yeah. If you haven't been to rubbish.com, check it. No, does rubbish.uk?
Rubbish.co.uk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So their software could collect several miles of imagery in minutes. They used AI to determine the weight, volume, environmental impact, carbon footprint, and recycling value of each piece of litter. Wow. This is Ellipsis Earth.
Wow.
They're doing this. They're measuring this data. So our litter recognition technology can rapidly scan photos and videos to identify 47 different categories of litter.
Wow.
Yes. So the team found that people dropped litter every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Every 3 seconds.
They dropped it.
Yeah.
They threw it on the ground.
Just on average. Isn't that crazy to think about? Like every 3 seconds, a piece of trash is just falling to the ground.
I wonder, but we're talking about a public, popular beach.
Public,
where there's
popular
probably,
beach.
Thousands of people out there.
Totally. This would probably be the equivalent. I would guess that this would be like if you go to Venice Beach or you go to Santa Monica Pier. This is a very well-traveled place, so there's a lot of trash. Okay. So that
it's
trash,
still a lot, but that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah. So it says the team found people dropped litter every 3 seconds, and that it would remain on the ground for 6 hours or 8 hours on the beach. So they knew that this wasn't like, while they're monitoring, it wasn't like trash that was being set down while you go swim, and then the family would clean it up. It would be there for the whole day.
Right.
So we saw instantly the type of litter being dropped was very specific to the day of the week and the location.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday nights saw extremely high levels of alcohol and drugs-related littering at the rear of the city center beaches.
Can we use the technology to gather the drugs.
Is there some way, like, what is the AI going to do with the drugs?
Right,
like, can you scoop it up and, like, put it in the back of my, my Pinto?
Your caravan.
My caravan. I've got a Dodge Caravan, and I'd like you to put all the drugs in there.
I suppose, if they're not using it for something else, they want someone to get rid of it.
Right,
maybe they could just, use the AI satellite technology.
Well, that's right.
And just tell me where to go.
That's right, because...
And I'll dispose of it in my mouth.
That's right, because
or in my arms.
Oh, environmental purposes, I want to make sure the drugs don't go to waste.
No, they've got to, otherwise they're going to be polluting.
It's just going to be polluting, and like, here's the thing: if they go in my body, then I get rid of them.
Right, and then I can process them.
I can process them, and then they're gone.
I've got a processing system.
So then, in contrast, Sundays and bank holidays saw large quantities of family-related littering at the water's edge. So even though they aren't druggies, they would drop off
children,
nappies, juice boxes, and kids' toys.
Children. Don't let your parents litter.
Yes, come on.
What are you doing out there, kids? Yep. Kids.
Yep.
This is important. Like this is your fault. This is your fault.
Yeah. This isn't your parents' fault. They're tired.
You can't go out with your parents, who are just clowns.
Clowns.
The way they go out there just dropping things left and right and center. You've got to be responsible for your parents, kids.
Yeah. Kids, walk up to your parents and say, "I want to put makeup on you, mommy or daddy," and they'll go, "Aw," and then get that white face paint.
That's right.
Put it on there. Draw the big, the eyes, the mouth, and everything.
The lipstick too
and
far.
Then show them to a mirror, and then say, "Look, you're a clown.
Look, it's you.
Look,
it's you, mummy, because you litter all the time.
Oh, I drew your daddy. I drew your actual face because you're a clown."
At the beep, even though you didn't say the word.
I did.
Just beep. Like in post.
Even though I censored myself, still censor it.
Even though he didn't actually say the word because he's better than I am.
I am.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
I am.
Yeah,
but kids, this is how you fix this. This is you just take some responsibility for your parents. I know. You have to. They're a pain in the butt. You take them everywhere. They're loud. They're annoying. They take you where you don't want to go. They eat gross food.
Yeah.
You got to take responsibility.
You got to take responsibility, kids. So they took their findings back to Hubbub, which used behavioral change research to tackle the littering. Together, they launched Neat Streets in 2021, an anti-littering campaign across Bournemouth, Christchurch, and Poole. It won gold in the best campaign of the year. And so what they did, so they said, and this is really cool, and why it spoke to me, and I knew it would speak to you guys, because this is what we talk about in environmentalism. It says, from finger wagging to fun.
Wow.
Historically, the tone around littering has been a little bit draconian, says Hubbub director Gavin Ellis. The approach we took was to adopt a much more positive, playful tone because that's what people respond to. Hence our show. We've been ahead of the game. I'm trying to say we've been doing this for years.
Hey.
We're better.
Hey. We've been podcasting since 2020.
No, we've been podcasting since 1823.
Oh, that's right. It was 1823.
1823.
That's right. Our show's 100 years old.
200 years old.
200 anniversary.
So out went...
What year is this?
Out went finger wagging and 150-pound fines, and in came more positive interventions. Hubbub introduced yellow and silver disco bins that played music by ABBA, among other choice tunes, whenever someone deposited litter. They installed glow-in-the-dark bins in unlit spaces. Larger, brightly colored refuse containers were placed close to smaller bins. So all of this it reduced the litter because people started having fun throwing stuff away.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So like the kids, they're excited because they know, how our kids were when they were little.
Yeah.
If you saw a trash bin that played a song, they would make you throw away like everything.
They would be walking around the beach finding trash to throw into it.
Kids are like that. Yeah. And what's even more hilarious is people who are drunk and high are like, so
it's actually the perfect solution for their problem.
It is, and it's so they were.
Although if there's any left,
if after what do you do with it once it's in the bin now?
Right.
Like, are you going to take it to a landfill? You're
not going to just throw it away, are you?
You're not going to, because of course
it's a waste. Because I bet there's no processing it there. trash.
I heard Oasis is getting back together, and I'm gonna go see him play live, and I'd like to bring some drugs.
No, I don't see how I can get through the concert without some drugs.
Liam and Noel Gallagher are gonna be on stage, and I want to bring drugs.
It's a stupid name. Noel Gallagher.
It is Noel.
No.
Liam.
Who names his kid Noel?
I bet
what kind of person would name their son Noel?
I bet you in overseas, I bet you wouldn't be called Noel as much, would you?
No.
It's only here. No. So I don't know if we've mentioned this on the show before, but being one of Noel's best friends, I've been around him for close to 2 decades now, and everywhere you go, they say Noel when they read it.
My Instagram feed is not very good.
Yeah.
But if you were to follow it by accident, Noltron
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
If you're looking
If you want to follow,
if you're looking for a terrible follow.
If you want some hot content, this guy.
Half of my posts are me posting mistakes that coffee people put in my.
It's pretty great though when it happens.
Yeah,
it's pretty
good.
cute.
Yeah.
So before we move on to our part 2 story, it just says here was another fun thing that they did. Another effort that they did as well, the ballot bins, where smokers answered a question by depositing their cigarette butt. Who's the best footballer, Messi or Ronaldo? And they'd have...
they got to choose one.
Right? So I've seen that tactic before in tip jars. Like when you're in like a place and they have tip and it says like, which TV show is your favorite? What do you like to binge? And so it encourages people, like you can put $1 or some change on the side.
Stranger Things.
Or
Wednesday.
Exactly. And make people vote. So this was a really clever idea. And that's the kind of cool stuff that I think that these guys are about and that we could definitely use more here in the USA of these games and fun activities that does take away this like, all right, everybody, it's time to clean up. It's like, yeah, well, make it fun, It's pretty cute.
I mean, it's the smartest thing that I've ever seen on our show.
It's very smart. This beats bringing back mammoths through DNA's frozen.
100%.
This beats science, climate science, every single egghead that we've ever had in the show that's been a brilliant, doctorate, reinventing the world. All morons. Compared to this.
This is the one.
The one who makes...
And I'll tell you why.
Why? Tell me.
Because everybody else is trying to shoehorn some kind of solution to a problem or create a new problem by cloning a thing or doing a whatever. Or whatever. These guys, this is a problem that very solvable. Just got to change people's behavior. And they found it. It's the simplest.
So simple.
Easiest little trick. And look at that, 70%.
Amazing.
Of course, if it's 70% down from when it went 345% up, well, then it's not very good at all.
It's not bad. It's not much better.
So maybe it's the crappiest thing we've ever had on the show.
It could be. Yeah. But I want to encourage them to keep doing what you're doing. I think it's great. I think that having music play from a trash can, it's like having music play from your potty seat.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's
like,
so fun.
You sit on the potty and it goes... All the things that they give parents to help your kids go poop and pee in the bowl.
We used to have a little M&M chart.
Did you?
Yeah, because my kids, they look... They're really good at pottying now.
Oh yeah.
They're
30. No, just kidding.
They're really good at it now. But at the time, kids have it's a tough thing for kids. When they got to go from diaper to potty training and getting on that toilet.
Yeah,
it's a challenge.
Yeah.
So we had a little chart where when you got to the end of the chart, you get to have an M&M.
Yeah,
it was so cute.
I love it.
Yeah, it was fun. Games, baby.
Games. We had an Elmo Goes Potty book.
Yeah,
that was our thing. Elmo Goes Potty. It was like it had an audio part where you'd open the book and his voice would play, and it would like make it seem like, oh, it's so fun to go. This is the best time ever. Totally. I gotta pull the bathroom. Totally. I can't go number 2 unless I read it. To this day, it's changed my life. I bring it with me everywhere. I'm the only guy here at the office who, if you go into the stall and you hear, it's time. It's time. Jacob's in the stall again. But you know what it does? It clears everybody else out. That's what's so great. Is all the other people on the floor who use the bathroom, they hear that one lick of that book and they're like, I'm out of here, man.
No more for me.
No more.
Except for me. I sit outside the door.
He does.
I just listen.
And he goes, can I borrow the book when you're done?
I sing along.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
I love that.
So now we're going to move on to part 2.
What? There's another part?
There's another part. 2 for 1. But this one, guys, this one's scary.
What?
Okay? This is a scary tale because we started out with this really positive, ABBA playing trash bins, cigarette butts, cleaning up trash on the beach. I saw this one and I was like, this one's heavy duty. I don't know what we're going to do.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Can you handle this?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wild super pigs in Canada poised to wreak environmental havoc, spread disease in U.S., expert says. That's what it says. Yeah. There's wild super pigs, and they're a problem. Have you heard of these wild super pigs?
Yeah.
You know about them.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Okay. Pigs are reportedly extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
If you didn't know this, they are bright, really bright.
No, they are.
They can grow over 600 pounds and are hard to eradicate.
Yeah.
Hard to kill. This is...
Because they like to make babies.
They do. And I think that, all those Planet of the Apes movies were saying, like, we're going to be in trouble because apes are going to take over and become smart and start talking and run the world. Right. I don't think we have to worry about apes. I think we have to worry about pigs. Yeah. I think they're coming. They're coming for your house. Yeah. They're coming for your property. They're coming for your schools. They're coming for your guns.
They're coming for your guns, huh? Wow, not in Canada.
Not in Canada. No, I want people to rise up into action. I figure if I tell them that, then they'll help us with the
pig
problem.
If you say that's true.
Yeah. They're coming for you.
Hey, buddies, they're coming for your guns. You better take care of these pigs.
You better take care of these pigs. So, a crossbred super pig from Canada is poised to wreak havoc on the environment in the United States. It must be dealt with aggressively and immediately, a wildlife expert told Fox News Digital. These pigs are easily the worst invasive large mammal on the planet, said Dr. Ryan Brook, an assistant professor in the Department of Animal and Poultry Science at the University of Saskatchewan in Canada.
Okay.
These super pigs are actually a cross between a European wild boar and a domestic pig, Brook said. The pigs cause crop damage, destroy natural environments, get into cities, destroy water quality, and can spread disease to humans, livestock, pets, and native wildlife, he also noted. See, this is why I was kind of nervous about bringing this on here, because it's not like this is one of those subjects that we can talk about and be like, well, there's a solution in place. There's not really a solution in place.
Well, their solutions are they're difficult to talk about
on a children's, on a family podcast. Yeah. Look, so we're gonna touch on that delicately. They do need to be eradicated in some areas, and how you go about doing that is your own choice, I guess. But there are ways of getting rid of these wild pigs, and I think people are working on it.
Do they have any suggestions, or are they just sitting here saying it's hopeless, we're all going to die?
It's Fox News, so the hopeless... No, I'm just kidding.
Is it Fox News?
It is Fox
Hilarious.
News. So,
okay. Yeah.
So it does...
See, we take news from everywhere.
Yeah, it does. And
we'll take anybody's news.
Yeah, exactly. And so there are trappers, there are groups... Oh, there is a really funny thing about this story that made me laugh.
Okay.
They have this solution to capture the pigs, the wild pigs, and it's called... Where is it? It's so funny. A Judas pig.
A Judas pig?
Yeah.
So they get the traitor?
They get a traitor. So they basically have a pig with a GPS collar that goes and finds the pigs, and they literally call it a Judas, as in Judas betrays Jesus, the Judas pig. And so this poor pig has no clue
that he's Judas.
Nah, he's got a necklace on.
He's like, guys, look at this beautiful necklace I got for my boyfriend.
He walks into these groups of pigs, and he's like, hey, guys, like, I don't know if we should trust this guy. He's like, you got no reason to worry about me. I'm just here to hang out. And then in comes the cavalry, and they're like, thanks, Judas. And he's like, what? I didn't do anything.
It wasn't me. He's like, yeah, tell that to your necklace.
Yeah, that's right.
This whole thing?
No. Yes, isn't that hilarious? So let me see if there's anything that... This all came about because there's no native pigs in Canada. Anything that sounds like a pig and oinks like a pig has been imported. The first European wild boars were imported in Canada in the 1980s to diversify the country's agriculture. While these boars sometimes managed to escape their fences, after the wild boar market peaked in 2001, some farmers had no more use for these animals. So they cut their fences and let them go.
Well, it's funny that feels kind,
It does.
That feels kind. Like the farmers are like, well, we don't want to kill the poor things. Let's just let them live out in the wild.
Yes.
But when they're... The problem with an invasive species is because it doesn't generally naturally belong there.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing that hunts it or kills it. And if you don't have something that keeps a population in check, then it just keeps growing and then it takes over. It's kind of like the snake problem that they currently have in Florida.
Yeah.
Right? So like you just when you introduce something that doesn't belong to an area and nothing can kill it, well then it's just going to keep going.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
The great example are humans.
Yeah. 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 It's true.
We just keep
going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that it's a problem.
It's a problem.
I look in Texas, and I know they do things. It's its own country.
So sensitive. If you are listening with your kids right now and you don't want to talk about this subject matter, I can understand. So you can skip ahead or you can turn this down. We're going to talk about some of the methods that are taking care of the problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. In Texas, they have wild boars everywhere, and so they'll kind of repopulate throughout the year, and then they have a season, a time of year when they open up the gates essentially, and people can like freely hunt.
Yeah,
they hunt them by the thousands.
Yeah,
and like literally out there with it's not even like a gaming kind of hunt where you go with a bow and arrow or if you take a rifle or you try to sneak up on it. It's literally people in helicopters with ARs.
Wow.
Just mowing them down.
Yeah.
Because there are so many of them. Because they are really good. They really like to get it on.
They do.
They really like to get it on.
Yeah.
And they like to make babies.
Yeah.
And they're good at making babies. And so they're just the population explodes every year. And so they then cull it.
Yeah.
By letting people literally just use them as target practice.
Yeah, yeah. So now I understand because many years ago I play video games on Steam, and in Steam sometimes there's these crazy sales and stuff where you can buy some games. And there was a game that I got in there for like $0.25 called Blood and Bacon. And it was literally just you have a gun and you're just mowing down monster pigs. And I thought, well, I wonder what inspired this game. And now I'm like, oh. Somebody who lives around there, grew up around there, was like, "This is the game, baby.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it." Because I was like, "Why would they go after pigs? The pigs are a problem."
Yeah, and there's literally so many that you just fire into a crowd, and there's no you can't miss.
Yeah, exactly. So it says, and initially when they cut the fences, this is what the thought was back then. Initially, it was believed that these boars would never survive a Canadian winter, particularly in the harsh cold of the country's prairie provinces of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Alberta.
Some probably didn't.
This was quickly proven incorrect for the most part, and it presents the second reason these pigs wreak havoc: science. The super pigs began with a unique set of circumstances. Wild boar farmers were told to cross the wild boar with domestic pigs to make a bigger and longer animal. He said a domestic pig has an extra set of ribs and has a larger, more frequent litters. So they bred them to be bigger and have babies.
To make more babies.
Way more.
Yeah.
This was great for wild boar farmers, but it was a huge problem when these animals got into the wild. Additionally, scientific concept called Bergman's rule has come into play to potentially disastrous environmental end. Bergman's rule states that specimens in a species will tend to be larger the farther north you go in their range because being big is really important to survival.
In the cold. Yeah.
In the cold. Yeah, in the cold. So these pigs, they cut them loose, and they're like, they'll never survive out there. Not only did they survive, they went north and colder, and they got bigger and stronger.
Probably hairier, too.
Hairier. So, yeah. So this is proven true.
I mean, you think about it, right? So what do bears do the farther north you go? Right? They first of all, they get massive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you get north enough, their hair gets clear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they can...
Yeah. So they can fit into the environment and hunt and take you down.
So I imagine that over time you'd have these crazy freakish, polar
boars.
Yeah.
Yeah, polar boars. Wow, that's a whole franchise. Can we pitch that?
Let's do it.
Polar boars. I mean, there's cocaine bear right now. Let's do polar boars.
Yeah.
That's the next Sharknado.
Yeah.
And it's literally just about these crazy snow pigs.
Yeah. It applies to humans too.
Yeah. The farther north, the larger.
Well, think about what humans look like in the Arctic North.
Yeah, they got bigger.
They're very large.
Yep.
They're very light.
Yes.
And and they live through crazy ass winters.
Polar humans.
We also call them Vikings.
Yeah, it's true. Polar humans. This has proven true for the super pig in Canada, with the largest one discovered weighing well over 600 pounds. So the animal's size, along with their intelligence, has made the super pigs capable of survival in harsh conditions and therefore hard to eradicate. And also they've learned how to tunnel into snow caves to keep themselves warm. So these things are smart.
When we quote Ian Malcolm? Life finds a way.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Life finds a way. And here it is. This is the section. So it said traditional hunting techniques aren't working that well. So large traps and tracking Judas pigs, wild pig with a GPS collar that will lead you to other pigs, ground removal teams, fencing, and education are all key. So this is something.
Yeah, well, you got a lot of snow. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of forest. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's plenty of places to just kind of hide out in Canada, the frozen north.
There is.
Yeah.
And they were saying that when you go out to these areas where these pigs are, that they would burrow into these snow caves, and you could see, like, there was snow, and then you just see the steam of the pig's, like, breath, like, in these holes in the ground, and you'd be like, I mean, that's just, it's crazy.
It's freaky.
It's freaky.
It's awesome.
So, I'm here to say,
you love Fruity Pebbles in a major way?
Yeah. How did you know?
I figured.
I'm here to say that maybe you are a vegetarian, and maybe this doesn't apply to you. But if wild boar and super pig bacon is your thing, it's time to really double down and get to it, because we're gonna need to kick that demand way up, because we gotta trim the herd.
Yeah.
Here, we got to do something. Or if you'd like to, I have an idea also, which is if you are a billionaire or trillionaire, and you have an island, and there's just like not much going on the island. It's kind of like, what do I do with all this land? And you don't want to take out the pigs. Why don't you just load them up on a boat, take them out to the island, and just make it Super Pig Island?
Super Pig Island, baby.
Yeah. They'll just work it out. They can't get anywhere. They can't, they'll just breed until literally it's just mountains of...
Start eating each other.
Yeah, they'll start eating each other.
Yeah.
So that's one solution. Any other solutions? I'm open to ideas. We're just spitballing here how we can get rid of the super pig population. Yeah.
I mean, traps and poison, and I mean, they're...
Ronica's like, oh, all right. Yeah, poison them. But don't tell them they're poisoned.
It's brutal. Yeah. You could do it the stupid Australian way and get yourself in all sorts of trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, you should introduce something to kill it.
Oh.
Yeah, and then
that causes a bigger problem.
Oh, it's the hilarious thing.
And that's what
in
they
Australia,
do.
they have now we have cane toads that were never supposed to be there, and you have these rabbits that were never supposed to be there, and you have these different all these different flies. There's a whole set of animals in Australia that have overrun the country that don't belong there because they kept trying to bring in something to kill the thing that they accidentally brought.
Yeah. And I know, so for some of you that are more sensitive, and we usually don't tackle, subject matter where you're like, oh, something has to be harmed. I do want to put into perspective, this affects you. It does affect you. And you might be thinking, they're fine, leave them. No, they're actually eating our food. They're eating our vegetation. They're eating our crops. And they're eating our animals. And they're ruining areas where we need to farm and to be able to make food. So even if you're somebody...
They also eat... what lives there. They eat what naturally is supposed to be there.
Yes, yeah. They eat animals and creatures in the area. They eat chickens that we're eating. They eat a lot of the things that we depend upon. And we're talking vegetables and crops and things that we grow. They're destroying. So as much as we look at it and we go, "Oh, I love Babe Pig in the City," or "I love Porky Pig," and pigs are cute. Mm-hmm. There are certain species like this that you go, I know it's a sensitive subject, but they're going to affect you being able to get groceries in your house. They're going to affect your ability to get, the things that you're buying at the store, because they're going to ruin areas where people are farming and growing, and that's a problem for us as a people. So as much as people can come on here and be like, well, let the animals be, and we as humans, shouldn't affect their environments. No, this has gotten out of control, and because of crazy science ideas of breeding them to grow larger, we've caused our own problem here, and we need to fix this problem.
That is kind of hilarious if you think about the. I mean, none of this is hilarious, but it's a little bit. It's so human to come up with the idea of, well, I've got to have I want to have a larger pig,
right?
That's going to have a better chance of surviving in Canada, that will breed easily, so I can have lots of them. And then I can slaughter them, and I can make lots of money on the ham and the bacon and the pork loins and this is gonna be great. This is gonna be really, it's brilliant. Let's just put these two pigs together. We're gonna make a perfect pig that I can just go to town on.
Yeah.
And then you have trouble selling it. Not as many people want it as you thought. You're like, oh man, I spent all this money breeding these crazy pigs together, and I have these pigs everywhere, and I can't afford them, and I just want to eat cows, or I just want to grow corn.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I'm going to let them go.
Yeah.
It's like, but you bred them to be survivors.
They weren't naturally that
in your
way.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say we kill the farmers.
Oh, that's a fair plan.
If we put them out and then we get on a helicopter in the sky,
put them on trial,
get some guns.
Televise it.
Do we have to have a trial?
No. Let's just put them on TV. These are the farmers that bred the super pigs.
I'm kidding, farmers. I'm joking.
I have an idea.
Terrible joke.
I have an idea.
They probably feel awful. I love farmers. I love farming, and I get that it's a problem. You're trying to make a profit. It's difficult. I'm sure it's incredibly difficult in Canada to have a successful farm, and then it's probably.
And we're kidding around, but at the same time, hey guys, if a shark, well, we don't really eat sharks, but I was going to say
we could start.
We could start. I was going to say if a shark, you go, well, I know what would make this shark even better is if we breed it to have laser beams. Don't do that.
And swim in swimming pools.
Swim in swimming pools. Don't do that.
We're going to breed this shark
because then we're going
to go in swimming pools and have laser beam vision.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Even if you think it'll be really cool. Yeah. By the way, that's a reference to Austin Powers. Yeah. Sharks with freaking laser beams. Yeah. Look, there's a lot of apex predator species in the world. There's a lot of animals in the world that if we give them abilities to hunt and kill and do things even more efficiently, it's probably going to bite us in the booty.
Yeah.
They were trying to make a difference. And they set them free, and now we've got a problem. So it's a problem we have to answer. So this isn't one of those. This is really just to let you know, especially because you guys listen to the show. The majority of our audience is in the United States, and it does say incredibly intelligent, highly elusive. U.S. faces new threat from Canadian super pig. It says northern states on alert for invasion. So I don't know if you need to be looking out your window, with your shotgun at the ready, but this is something that
they're coming for your guns.
They're coming for your guns. They're coming for you. So you need to be aware that if you do spot, pigs in your woods, in your area where you live, and you listen to the show, you probably should report it because somebody needs to get out there and trap them and take care of the problem for you so that they don't continue to breed and they don't continue to walk all over farms and agriculture and things and systems that we need in order to survive. So
there it is.
There it is, folks. You've been warned. Super pigs.
You see something, say something.
See something. If you see a super pig, say something about the super pig. Don't try to fight the super pig. No, definitely not.
Don't be a hero.
Yeah, don't be a hero.
Yes, they're 600 pounds.
They are. They're huge. They're huge. Yeah. I like pigs. I'm a big fan. My friend, when I was growing up, had a pet potbelly pig for a very short while, and it was so cute and so fun, and I loved it. But these are different because these are bred with the wild hogs, so they don't look like Babe. That's what I'm trying to say. You ever seen Babe? Babe Pig in the City? Babe, the movies? It's a talking pig. So cute.
No.
Yeah.
This is not the movie you want to watch right now, though.
Only Charlotte's Web.
Yeah. Charlotte's Web is great.
Yes.
Another great pig movie.
That was a big thing when we were kids, is talking animal movies.
Talking animal movies were all the rage. We definitely had an era. I think the last one they did was the Dr. Doolittles with Eddie Murphy. They did Dr. Doolittle where he had all the animals that talked to him. But since then, we haven't had. But you're right. When we were growing up, there were tons of talking animal movies.
Yeah.
Because it was a big breakthrough to make something that couldn't talk. Like, Look Who's Talking. Well, no, Look Who's Talking was all in his mind. What am I talking about? I'm an idiot. I feel so stupid.
You're not an idiot.
Don't say that.
You're not an idiot.
The technology of being able to make something's mouth move like it's talking was a real
that was the
break.
E-Trade baby, I think, where they did that one.
Yeah, where they made it talk. Yeah. So anyway. Well, guys, we did it. We did a double whammy episode, and we didn't even, how sometimes we get on one subject and we run for like an hour 10. We did it nice and efficiently, in and out. I feel like we had a good podcast time, and I think that's a good wrapping up point.
I'm happy.
Yeah. And if you do have solutions for trash that you want to see here in the U.S., let us know.
Yeah,
and
trash.
we'll if you want songs,
we'll pass it on to the correct.
Pass it on to people. Yeah. And then if you have solutions for stopping the pig army that's coming for you, let us know.
And if someone could tell me what an elephant's penis is called, what the scientific definition.
Yeah, if you could get that. Actually, can we make that number one?
Yeah, let's put that to number one.
Number one, let's move that to the first thing.
Because we need to know that one.
We need to know that first. Because I can't handle the trash bin problem or the pig problem until I know if it's a Dumbo or what.
Yeah, what the technical.
What the technical term is.
So if you guys could give us those three things.
Yes.
And then tell your friends about the Biofriendly.
Tell your friends. Yes, that's he said it perfectly. Tell your friends about the Biofriendly Podcast. We spent some time with people last week in DC who had heard of the show, and we recommended it to a lot more people. And everybody who listens to the show goes, I had a great time. I learned something, and so we need your help. So spread the word.
Yeah, people seem to like it.
They really like the show, and that's the thing is that because we're an environmental podcast and we're not doing murder. No. Or we're not doing,
except of wild boars in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little bit of murder on that one, but we're not doing something like really offensive or that works people up into a frenzy.
Yes.
And then we're also not doing really dirty comedy.
Right.
We really dance on that PG line. We're like on the, honestly, look, one, we bleep, and then everything that we say on this show could be on TV.
Absolutely.
100% on regular television. So we're clean.
Yes.
And so all of those factors make us in the iTunes store and on Spotify. A lot of times people are looking for stuff and they think, oh, environmental.
That's stupid.
That's dumb.
Those guys are mean.
Boring. And they're going to just judge me. And they're
and
scientists and dorks. And they wouldn't dare talk about an elephant's penis. But
no, we just did. We talked about an elephant's penis.
Lo and behold.
And we used the word for a whale's penis just a moment ago.
We did. So. And we talked about bins that sing ABBA, and we talked about super pigs that are coming for you. So we do all the things.
Yes.
So without your help, we're never going to get this show to be recognized by the Smithsonian and by the world around and recognized as the greatest podcast in the world. So we need you. So recommend it, review it, share it, post it. All those things.
Tell the things. Science without the stiffness.
Yeah.
Green without the gross.
Yeah, green.
I don't know. If
science without the stiffness.
Green without the groaning.
Green without the groaning.
Yeah.
That's a tag.
Is it? It's a
science
tag.
Without,
I got a tag.
Yeah, science without the stiffness. Green without the groaning.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it. Write them down.
Write that down.
Okay. So with that being said, thank you for joining us again, and we'll see you next time. We have been your beacon of light in a gloomy environment,
bringing you top quality content since 1823.
There you go, baby. And science without the stiffness. And do you want to do the second one?
I think it's one.
Okay,
right?
okay. Yeah. Science without the stiffness and green without the groaning. So good. And before we get out of here, Veronica, of course, says...
Stop. Stop and smell the flowers.
Yay!
I love the It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.